What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Freaking Uncultured. As always, I am Andy, and I'm always joined by my good buddy Chandler. Chandler, how's it going, man? How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been up since 5:30 and I've gotten a lot done today as I was already telling you. So
Yeah,
I'm riding that high, but now it's starting to feel like nap time.
I feel that. No, you've been super busy today. You got a lot of stuff going on. You've been working on all the gaming episodes and let's plays and all sorts of cool
hmm
stuff. The Creature Kitchen little let's play you've been doing has been a lot of fun to watch. So I'm excited to see
Dude,
part two, and I know you got part three in the works. So
yeah, part 3 is recorded. I finished the game. I just need to edit it and then schedule it for an upload, get it a thumbnail, and then it's good to go. So,
all right. Well, we're excited to see it. I know, like I told you earlier, I know a couple people that are chomping at the bit to see the end of that series. So,
yep, and I already have in mind how your cameo is going to go for it. So,
all right, all right. I gotta look out for part two because I saw the little, even the little teardrop you gave me, which cracked me up.
yeah.
I thought that was
Oh,
funny.
just wait for your upcoming cameo for the Let's Play I'm posting this weekend after this video goes up,
Okay, all right. I mean,
because
I'm
I
gonna have to
think
start. I gotta start doing some let's plays then. So,
I think you're gonna get a kick out of this cameo. I
all
showed
right.
it to my wife whenever I was making it, and she was like, "What the hell?"
All right. Now I have to watch. Now I gotta definitely
Yeah.
check it out for sure.
Yep.
So we're gonna jump right into it, guys. We got a lot we want to cover today, and to be honest, this one's not a fun one. If you have been paying attention to anything this last week when it comes to gaming, it has been a very, very frustrating week for us as consumers in the gaming industry.
Mhm.
We've had a lot of shakeups. We've had a lot of interesting news. We've lost some really great studios. We lost a lot of big names in the industry. So
Mhm.
we're going to cover a lot of this stuff. And it's going to be one of those situations where it's like, all right, guys, sit down, shut up. Don't make me turn this car around because we need
Yeah.
to figure this out. The industry is in a really weird position right now when it comes to pricing, gaming, like updates, hardware. Like, we don't know. It really seems like just one big rug pull and everything's going to come collapsing down. Like, I don't know what's going on. Um, but we want to
I mean,
address a lot of the things going on right now.
I was gonna say you say that, but I mean, I feel like we've been in that constant state of flux for definitely over the past year now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like things have been shaky. I mean, in all fairness, a lot of things, not even just in the gaming industry, but like a lot of things are shaky right now. But
Yep.
with everything going on with like AI taking over like RAM and PC components and prices just skyrocketing right now, everything is just so it's not as easy and consumer friendly as it once was. Like, I
Yeah.
don't feel I can't just go down to GameStop and buy an Xbox for a reasonable price now. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, even 4.99 is a lot of money. I'm not arguing that in any way, shape, or form. But after two different price hikes on that system, and now it's up to 649 brand new, or 749 if you wanted to do the 2 terabyte system,
Mhm.
that's a lot of money. And I mean that's just PlayStation, or that's just Xbox. PlayStation had
Yeah.
price hikes, Switch had price hikes, so it's like we're jumping ahead a little bit, but like there's a lot of stuff that needs to change immediately. We're gonna address a lot of these issues, and then we're gonna kind of throw out some things we're hoping to see to help fix this problem. So hopefully we can see a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't want this to be all negative, but let's start talking about some of the bigger issues we had this week. Unless you got anything you want to cover real quick, man.
Yep, let's go ahead and get it.
Cool. So, the beginning of this last week, Nintendo has been very adamant about not raising the price on the Switch. Like, when obviously with the tariffs and everything that happened, when the Switch 2 got announced, the price reveal got delayed because they were
Yeah.
unsure of if they were going to be able to make it at a reasonable price, quote unquote. So we actually had to wait on the price, and if I remember correctly, that pushed pre-orders back because we didn't even know the price for it.
Yep.
So Last week, Nintendo president told shareholders that the House of Mario had no current plans to raise the price of its 449 Switch 2. This week, it sounds like Nintendo isn't just considering price increase for the console. It's reportedly weighing when it'll enact a price hike. So now, within a span of a week, it's not a thing of we're not going to raise the price. It's oh, we're planning on raising the price at this point.
Mhm.
So we're already this system. What this system came out in was it June?
June of last year. So
So
we're almost a year in
yeah, so
to
we're
the
eight
life
months
cycle.
8 months into the life cycle of this system, and we're already seeing a price hike. Now, that being said, the price hike could be 10, 20, $30. It could be another $50. It could be $100. Like I don't expect it to go $100. Like I honestly I would expect it to go to 4.99 if I was gambling.
Yeah, agreed.
But come on, man. Like when does this madness end? Like what's your take on this right now with the Switch 2 price hikes? Potential price hikes. Like obviously it's not confirmed. It's all speculation. But
I mean, so if we're I mean, I don't know, man, because with the way everything is right now, and I mean, a lot of it boils down to just like all the weird stuff going on within AI, like you already alluded to back at the beginning of the episode. It's just like from a company perspective, I understand their concerns and and them raising prices and everything. And I mean, let's be honest, at the end of the day, it's Nintendo. If you slap Nintendo on it, people are going to buy it regardless,
100%.
especially if if they do something crazy, where they're just like, "Hey, you know, our Switch 2 is $50 more now. Oh, but by the way, here's a brand new 3D Mario game." Nobody would bat an eye. And and everybody would buy it. So it really when it comes to Nintendo, it really doesn't matter if we're being honest. Uh do I think Nintendo should just go ahead and eat the additional cost? Yes, I do think so because they're a loss on the consoles anyway, like you and I have already discussed previously. All their money comes from software. So,
No, 100%. I actually do want to pull something up real quick, so I am gonna do this. But like in all fairness, a lot of this, like we said, is stemming from the AI impact on the industry. Like obviously
yep,
that's been the biggest factor. It actually in the article right here it says in the QA investor call, he tried to quell investor concerns over the RAM crisis, which is threatening to impact nearly every industry that uses computer chips. The
yep,
AI industry is eating up resources like water, energy, and tech availability. OpenAI alone has already secured 40% of the world's future semiconductor supply, which has ramifications for companies like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft.
yep,
So yeah, the obviously the AI taking all the supplies and whatnot is obviously affecting all three manufacturers, and that's interesting because OpenAI has already secured 40% of the world's future semiconductor supply. So stuff that hasn't even been made yet, they've already laid claims to like 40% of it.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
But my thing is, and I understand, this is just how business is. Like I totally get that. And you got to make sure money goes where it is. But according to oh no, this is not the right year. I can't find what they profited last year. I don't know if they've actually put out their financial report. But I mean, this is so just hypothetically, this is again 2024, but Nintendo profited 2.8 billion in 2024. So I mean, I would assume that's pretty well. I know that's a big actually, I take that back. They fell 27.7 year over year to 2.8 billion. So that's actually down.
Yeah.
So but I mean, I don't know.
Still
Like
nothing to scoff at, though.
yeah, no, I would not be unhappy if somebody wrote me a check for that in all fairness. But
Yep.
my point is like there's definitely a lot of money and it seems like the consumer is going to take the brunt of this. And that's what sucks. Like I understand this is business. This is kind of the way we live nowadays. Like, you know, this is how it is as a consumer. Like we're the ones
Yeah.
that are going to take the brunt of it. But it just sucks, man. Like the system's not even a year old and we're already considering a price hike?
Yep.
Like what do we what it like I don't know.
Well, and what's crazy is too is it's a price hike on hardware that's not even comparable to something like the PS5 or the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, and that's
And
true.
I feel like that's an even bigger slap in the face, honestly.
And then for me, my next concern I have is, so like you said, it is substandard hardware compared to like PS5 and Xbox and PC. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not saying it's bad hardware. Like, I actually really like the Switch 2.
No,
Like, I think
I
it's,
like this. Yeah, I like it leagues more than the Switch 1.
oh yeah,
I think it's a good console. But for something that is behind, which I mean, let's be honest, Nintendo's never done the latest and greatest in hardware, and that's okay because they offset it with just nostalgia. Honestly, that's the big part of it is nostalgia, and
100%.
then games that are fun to play, which is the whole point of gaming. So I'm not upset about it or anything, but if you're going to start sitting here and trying to sell a Switch 2 for the cost of a PS5 at launch, mm, I don't know.
But
Like I said, slap in the face.
and the other issue I have is again, we're getting like subpar hardware comparatively. And again, not bad hardware, just it's not as good as, what we're seeing in other consoles and PC. But here in a couple of years, we're gonna see a Switch 2 OLED or a Switch 2
Mhm.
Lite or whatever it is, and those prices are gonna be hiked up. But it's
Yep.
also gonna be lesser hardware because we're having a hard time finding this hardware. We're having a hard time finding faster processors and more RAM and all this stuff. And if we do find it, it's just going to be even more expensive. Are you going to
Yep.
pay? I mean, the Switch Lite right now is 229 brand new. Let's say they do a Switch 2 Lite. Are you going to pay $400 for a Switch 2 Lite?
Hell
Or
no.
are you going to pay $600 for a Switch 2 OLED?
Hell no.
And that's the thing
Like
is like we're already like as a like economy, we're already struggling. Like everything's getting more expensive. Like
Yep.
it's getting to a point where that bubble is going to burst because AI alone and the tech alone is outpricing what we can afford.
Mhm. So,
So,
and I mean, and you see a lot of stuff too about people being like, well, the AI bubble's getting ready to pop and everything like that. And like, one can hope. But I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, time will tell and everything. But I don't know if you saw, this was, I think, last month in January, but it was projected that OpenAI was going to be bankrupt by next year. And apparently, after that announcement, Nvidia turned around and sunk 30 billion into OpenAI.
interesting.
Yeah. Thanks, Nvidia, for just honestly, I don't even know how that works because they have so much they have been putting so much money into each other. I don't know how that works.
I mean, I will say I saw something about how Nvidia so they're not making video cards for consumers anymore. They're solely
Yeah, no, they're
focusing
just
on
making it
AI.
for Yep,
But I
yep,
saw that instead of, so we're on the 50 series graphics cards. So now they do like 5090, 5080, so on.
mhm.
They actually started remanufacturing 30 series cards
For what purpose?
just for the consumer to have something.
But I thought they weren't making anything for the consumer anymore.
But that's the thing is like they're making cards that are 2 generations older just to have something for the consumer.
And I feel like that's BS, man, honestly. And that's the thing is, I'm pretty sure because I'm pretty sure it was OpenAI that bought a crap ton from Nvidia to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and then now Nvidia's turning around and sinking 30 billion into the company that, like that just doesn't sound like good business practices, like
I
at
just
all.
I don't
Like,
know. Like everyone's doubling down on AI and I understand like you if you're on the cutting edge of like future tech, you want to be the front horse in that race. Like I get it.
yeah.
But it seems like it's getting just insane and crazy with where's the money going? Who's funding what? Where cuz
See,
I mean,
and that's what confuses me is because at the end of the day, it's all about the money,
yeah,
you know, and so and it doesn't make sense where it's going. And so my thing is like at some point that bubble is bound to pop,
yeah.
and I just hope it's sooner rather than later.
But going back to like the gaming aspect of things, like if you wanted to buy or build a PC a couple years ago, I mean, even even with COVID, like it was insanely overpriced, but it wasn't to where it is now.
Mhm,
Like if you wanted to buy like a high-end graphics card a couple of years ago, you'd spend 2000 easy, like 2000,
mhm,
2500, up to 3000 depending on the card. You'd probably put maybe 5000 if you wanted a top of the line computer. Now that's super overkill. Like I don't think you need to do that, but you could.
yeah,
Now, if you want to just buy the video card, it's going to be 5000 easy just for the
yeah,
video card. And then that doesn't include motherboard, RAM. I don't like RAM prices are insane. I was telling you the other day, or the other day, I was telling you this morning. There was an image going around of how it's cheaper to buy an AR-15 than it is 2 sticks of RAM.
yeah.
That's insane. So like, I feel like this
Hey, man,
whole
I'm just saying
industry
you
is
could
going
get
crazy.
for the price of an AR-15, you could get a lot of RAM, though. Like
We're gonna start seeing trade-ins towards RAM.
yeah.
That's instead no, but
No.
it's just I don't know, man. I don't like where this is going, but it also kind of leads to our next. Actually, no, I do have one more thing going into. I did find this.
What's this?
This is from what is this GameSpot, but it said Nintendo should if Nintendo should implement a Switch 2 price hike, it would be asking the consumer to pay more even more when the company made a profit of $2.3 billion over the last 9 months. And Nintendo is not the only company raking in dough. Microsoft made an overall profit of 38.5 billion for its latest quarter alone, and at the time when the company is raising Xbox prices, laying off developers and canceling games. Sony for its part announced that it profited 6.2 billion for the latest period and it announced it was raising profit projections. So even though
It's
these companies are still making money, is it what they want to
mhm.
make? Probably not. Nobody's ever going to be like, "Oh, I'm good. I don't need to make more money." But like
It's greed.
this is insane. I mean,
Like
it's just I don't like how we're talking billion here. Billion with a
yeah,
B, and they're going to be
not
like,
million,
I don't
billion.
we need to add, XYZ because we don't want to take the hit on this. We don't want to lose money on this. We can't, change that. It's like I feel like you could cut something here.
Yeah.
So, but
Maybe you could cut some of those CEO, paychecks, you know?
well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that here in a
Yeah.
second. But going on the AI trend, unless you have anything else you want to cover on the Nintendo aspect, I know I've been kind of on my soapbox for a little bit. So
No, not really, just because, I mean, the only thing new with Nintendo is just the price hikes and everything, and, we already did, not too long ago, a full designated video for Nintendo, so, uh,
fair.
I don't really have too much to say for Nintendo, but I do for some other companies.
All right.
So
Well, we're gonna switch things over because now the next part of the week, uh, kind of still digging into chip shortages and RAM being overpriced. Sony has announced that they are considering delaying the PlayStation 6 to 2028 or even 2029. So what's your take on this, man? I know you saw the article on this too. So
I think this is the only good thing to come out of Sony this week.
fair,
Uh,
fair.
I think delaying the PS6 because typically between console generations you have anywhere between a 6 to 7 year span before you get the next iteration
Yeah.
of a gaming console. So that would put the PS6 on track to be out either this year or the following year if you were to follow that trend.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but like we just talked about with AI and everything, there's no need to rehash all of that. All that's going on, but also we're getting to the point now, like I was telling you, I think it was earlier before we were recording. It's getting to the point now that whenever it comes to innovations between generations of consoles, we're kind of at a standstill because you're already being asked to pay premium prices for consoles that are not as powerful necessarily as building your own PC, you know, but now we're getting to the point where for the next generation of console with everything jumping up in price, you're not just paying a premium, you're paying a premium and your arm and leg. So,
Yeah.
for something that's not even that big of a generational jump, if we're being honest.
No, and that's kind of when we planned the episode a little bit beforehand. We were talking about this, and like you said, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. This just kind of hammers on the point again of how negatively AI is affecting industries. And I'm not even just talking gaming industry. Like I said earlier, they're affecting water and energy and all this other stuff. But like
Yep.
we're obviously seeing an impact in the gaming industry because of it too. But I agree. I don't think it's necessarily a bad the bad thing that this is getting delayed for two reasons, and one being just the easy reason: if they did release this in 2027, because usually they, about like you said, 7 8 years is when we start seeing the new hardware release or at least get revealed and stuff like that, prices would be astronomical right now. Like
Oh, absolutely.
I still think that we would be seeing another $700 system easily, if not more,
Hmm.
probably up to $1,000 system. It sounds outrageous, but at this rate, the Series X is 649. It's $50 off that mark. So
I'm curious because we're talking about console costs and everything. Uh, I guess I guess Steam still hasn't
nope,
announced the cost of the Steam machine,
nope. I was actually going to mention
which
that too.
which is probably a good idea to just kind of keep to their chest right now because yeah.
Yeah, no, that I
Because
still think that's going to be close to a grand. I
I
really
think
do.
it's I think it's going to be at least a grand on the dot.
Hmm.
Like
But I also the other reason I think this is a good thing is we have not hit the limit of what the PS5 and the PS5 Pro can do.
yes.
I mean, because in all fairness, I bought a PS5 Pro and they talk, 4K, 120 frames, and all that stuff, perfect gameplay, seamless. And it's like, we're not seeing that.
Yeah.
We're not seeing that. Games look great. They play extremely well. I'm not arguing that at all.
Mhm.
But if we can talk about, hey, this is going to be 4K 120 frames, all the time, and then you're like, oh, well, it's technically 1080p at 120 frames, 4K at 30 frames. It's like, no, that's not how that was advertised. That's
Yeah.
not how. If you're going to talk about my car can do 200 miles an hour, but I have to have a sail and I got to be going downhill, like that's not really,
Mhm.
like, come on, that's not fair. That's not the intended way this is supposed to work.
Well, and that's like I was saying too, is if the PS6 were to come out within the following year, you know, it's like I said, you would be paying a premium, an arm and a leg for something that is not that big of a generational jump.
Yeah, and I mean, we see it every year. Like we had the PS5 come out, and then we had the PS5 Slim, and in all
Mhm.
fairness, it was the exact same piece of hardware. They just cut down the intercooler. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And then they made it all digital with the addition of being able to plug in a disk drive.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're not seeing, it's not like, and even if it were a hardware bump, because I think if I remember correctly, when we went from PS4 to the PS4 Slim, it was an increase, but I think it was like a 12% increase in power. Like it
Yeah.
was it was minuscule. So, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing, but again, this just kind of hits the nail on the head of there are issues in the industry and there are things I think we need to address.
Have you seen also this whole thing going around for the PS6 where apparently Sony has a patent out for a controller that doesn't have face buttons on it and it's instead all supposed to be haptic feedback, like a touch screen with haptic
Ugh,
feedback?
that works so well for the Steam controller.
Have you not heard about it yet?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Yep.
Good lord,
So,
man.
I that's so stupid.
I mean,
Anyway.
I'm not against them trying different things. Like I'm always for like trying new different things. Like I think the accessibility controller is a neat like feature and stuff like that. Like it's super cool what you can do with it. It's not for me,
Yeah.
but I do like obviously it's getting more people gaming and I think that's the overall point. I think we're missing that point in a lot of aspects actually is this is supposed to be a fun hobby. The point of this is I want to go home and play some video games. I want to just, play some games with some friends. I want to immerse myself in a story of like epic proportions. We're talking Red Dead, Witcher, Skyrim. Like I want to lose myself in a world like this. And now it's
Mhm.
to a point where it's like, "Oh, hey, GTA 6 is coming out. That's obviously going to be a huge game. Well, I got to go spend 500, $600 on a system. I'm probably going to
Mhm.
have to pay $120 for the game. Like, yeah, it's just like it's becoming, it's not a small time hobby. Now it's an investment.
Yep.
So I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm just, again, just bitching on my soapbox up here, but
That's what this episode is. Andy's soapbox, the episode.
well, unless you have anything else, we're really going to get to me bitching on a soapbox here on this next topic. So,
No, because I'm fixing to get on mine too. You know what? I've been kind of laid back. Let me pull my mic out a bit. Let me get adjusted. Let me get
all right.
sitting up.
So I'll be completely
Ah.
upfront with you guys. This was the breaking point for me this week. I saw this announcement, immediately texted Chandler, and this was the point where I was like, we need to do a get your shit together kind of episode. Because
Oh
to
yeah.
me, this was my breaking point. Unfortunately, Sony revealed it's shutting down the Demon Souls remake developer Blue Point Studio or Blue Point Games.
Yep.
Blue Point is a phenomenal dev team. I know Chandler and I have talked about it, but they, in my opinion, Blue Point has done some incredible games. I mean, I have a list of games right here in front of me. They
Yeah, I pulled
obviously
one
did
up too.
the Demon Souls remake, which, if you look at Metacritic, was ranked at a 92. They did the Ico Shadow of the Colossus remake, which was Metacritic 92 again. God of War collection, they did that or collection, 91 on Metacritic. They did Flower Shadow of Colossus for the PS3, the Metal Gear Solid HD remake, the Uncharted collection, Gravity Rush. Blue Point Studio has been around since 2006, and they have done some incredible games. Uh, and for some reason, which Chandler will cover his theory, which I think does play a big factor in this, but uh, we lost an incredible studio, and we lost incredible potential for some future games too.
Yep. Um. Well, because I'm fixing to tangent hardcore and rant hardcore. Finish up what you want to say, and then I'm going off.
No, I
So.
think I like, for me, I don't really have a ton to say other than I'm pissed. Like, I
Mhm.
don't want to see people lose their jobs. I like,
Yep.
that's just a personal thing. This is supposed to be a fun hobby, and I know the game industry is extremely cutthroat as is, but I
Yep.
hate seeing great studios like this, shut down because of mismanaged money and just poor decisions from a parent company. That sucks. That
Mhm.
really sucks, man. Like, as much as I will put my clown makeup on and hope for a Bloodborne remake or a PC port or something along those lines, I know it'll never happen. And I don't think Blue Point's the only studio that could do it, but if there was a studio to do it, they would be in the conversation, in my opinion. And I know you're a big God of War fan from the OG, like the original series. I am more
Yep.
on the newer series, and I want to go back and play the originals more. But to me, I'm not excited about a live service God of War game, personally.
Mhm.
So, like, I hate to say they were set up to fail, but I kind of feel like we were set up to fail.
Yeah.
So I'm really, this got under my skin. I texted Chandler immediately and I was like, this is bullshit. Why are we losing great companies? And I like, this is the whole point of the episode, because this happened and it was like my breaking point. So I'll let you tangent away, but this was the one that hurt me this week.
Yeah. So, Blue Point Games, as we've already discussed, have been responsible for a lot of some of the greatest remasters and remakes that we have gotten for PlayStation across three different generations between PS3, PS4, and PS5. They've definitely proven themselves, and they have, and time again, actually, and Demon Souls remake was the reason to get a PS5 whenever it launched for a
Agreed.
lot of people. Um, so that being said, it's a shame that a studio that well renowned, which also I want you to keep in mind, you said they have been around since 2006. They weren't purchased by PlayStation until up until 5 years ago. So they have been under the PlayStation umbrella for the past 5 years.
Yep.
And then we have the issue of Herman Holst getting in to PlayStation as PlayStation CEO, who is a big advocate for the live service game. So that's whenever we started seeing a bunch of live service games get announced for PlayStation, including things like Concord, Fair Game, dollar sign, whatever it's called, Fair Games, Fair Game, dollar sign, whatever. Uh, and then not only that, a Horizon game as well. With her live service Horizon game, not like Forza Horizon, but Horizon
Yeah,
Zero
yeah.
Dawn, which, funny enough, uh, is, made by Guerrilla Games, which, Herman is the co-founder of, by the way.
Oh,
Um, and then, of course, we're getting stuff like Marathon from Bungie, okay? So, Herman Hulse comes in, we see this giant push for live service games because, they're trying to a live service game to a lot of big corporate CEOs and corporations, basically, they're all just trying to make Fortnite. They're trying to make a sustainable business model that's going to keep on putting money into itself using user-generated content or things to keep people coming back.
yeah.
So, I mean, in in practice, not a bad idea, but why do we need 5 of them? But anyway, uh, so then it gets to the point though where Blue Point gets the gets handed a live service game for them to make. And if you weren't aware, Andy already had alluded to it and everything and talked about it a little bit. Blue Point was in charge of making a live service God of War game, which, and Andy already said, I am a big God of War fan since the beginning. I have been playing since the PS2. I have played every single God of War. I'm currently playing Sons of Sparta, the Metroidvania God of War, and I'm really enjoying it. But not ever once did I stop to think to myself, "Damn, I sure would love a live service God of War game," because that's just
Yeah.
like, that sounds awful. That
That's
sounds
never
horrendous.
crossed my mind that if I had to make a bingo card, that would not have been it.
Yeah. And so, from doing some digging and looking around, as an outsider looking in, what it looks like is because of Concord's failure, which was what, 400,000,000 is what we
Yep.
said?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. It was a loss of 400,000,000 for PlayStation. The game that Herman Hulst claimed to be PlayStation Star Wars, which is a pretty bold claim, I'm just saying.
Did you ever play
Uh,
Concord? Did you ever play
no,
the
I
Okay.
I had no interest, I don't care for hero
I
shooters.
know, I know. I was
Um,
curious if you messed with it.
no. So, right now, as an outsider looking in, and if you do your research and everything, what it looks like is Blue Point unfortunately got shut down because after Concord's failure, PlayStation axed a bunch of unannounced live service games, one of them being the God of War live service game, and then Blue Point apparently kept on pitching ideas to PlayStation only for them to continually get denied. And now here we are where PlayStation took a $400 million hit and they need to recoup those costs somewhere. So that it looks like Blue Point got the axe because of it.
Well, kind of funny you say that. I do have a quote from Herman Hulst, the CEO of Sony, Sony Interactive Entertainment, and he said the reason because of this rising development costs, slowed industry growth, changing player behavior, and broader economic headwinds are making it harder to build games sustainably. To navigate this reality, we need to continue adapting and evolving. We've taken a close look at our business to ensure we're developing today while still well positioned for the future. As a result, we will be closing Bluepoint Games in March. This decision was not made lightly. Bluepoint is an incredibly talented team, and their technical expertise has delivered exceptional experiences for the PlayStation community. I want to thank everyone at Bluepoint for their creativity, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. Where possible, we will work to find opportunities for some impacted employees within our global network of studios. So again, it just seems like Bluepoint was the unlucky one that got the axe.
Well,
Like,
I call bullshit, honestly, in this and everything. And because my thing is, his whole thing was like, well, we're trying to make games with sustainability. You don't need to make games with sustainability. You don't need to make a game that's going to last 10 plus years like Fortnite. Stop it. the truth of the matter is whenever it comes to these live service games or games with sustainability, as he wants to put it, let's be honest, that's a live service game, okay?
I mean,
Uh,
I real quick, I agree. Like I agree with you, but I think the way I'm interpreting it from this is building games sustainably, not building sustainable games. So I think
mm,
he's saying in the sense of how I'm interpreting it is how to continuously make quality games. And I agree with you though, like I don't want to see a bunch of Fortnites or Concords or anything. I don't want to have to log into my PlayStation and be like, "All right, what online service game am I going to be playing today?" Like
yeah,
I
but
but you go ahead. I just wanted to say like I feel like how I'm interpreting this statement is that, but I still
mhm.
agree with you 100%.
Yeah, all I was gonna say is it's just at the point now, and studios need to understand this, that there is enough popular live service games out there. You have stuff like Fortnite, you have stuff like Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, is Apex Legends still popular, like, honestly? Or has it died?
I mean, it's still online. I'll give it that.
Okay,
And this is coming from
so
someone who loves Apex, mind you, but it's
yeah,
not where it was years ago. Like it is definitely it's struggling. So
okay. Well, point being, we have plenty of successful live service games already. Okay. We don't need companies trying to make more just because they see the dollar signs there and they're like, well, I want some of that money. Because the truth of the matter is that these games take time and dedication from their player base. Somebody who is already dedicated to a game like Overwatch, for example, okay, is probably not going to go out on a limb to start putting time and money into a different hero shooter such as Concord whenever they've already invested so much into a pre-existing game.
yeah, I mean, we're definitely we're seeing a shift in how the industry works, you know. When I started playing video games like way back in the day, you put a cartridge in, you played that game. Like you didn't have to install it. There weren't updates, there weren't DLC, there wasn't online lobbies. It was you put the game in, you got what you got and enjoy it kind of thing. Like if you liked it,
Yep.
cool. If you didn't, you didn't. And thinking back, like obviously over time we did see a shift in gaming. I mean, I can remember like the PS2 to 360 era when we went from, just single player games to kind of dabbling into online multiplayer with games like oh man, I'm drawing a complete blank on I drew a complete blank. I just lost my entire train of thought on the games, but I know they were kind of dabbling in like EverQuest and certain games like that where they were dabbling into online multiplayer.
Oh, so you're talking about like WoW coming in and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And then all of
Okay.
a sudden, 360 hits and we've got Xbox Live online. Now we're seeing, or the original Xbox had online, but, 360 hit and it just blew up.
Mhm.
Everyone was playing games like Call of Duty, Halo. That was a whole shift of the industry. We went from being so like single player obsessed to now online multiplayer, and now we're getting back into a shift where instead of it being just online multiplayer, it's battle royale, and then from battle royale now it's live service and gotcha games and all this stuff, and it
Mhm.
seems like they've tapped on something that's like, hey, we can make a ton of money here. And
Well, see, and
I
that's
feel like we're
and you
forgetting the source of where this started. We're forgetting our roots essentially.
yeah, and I agree with you because I personally don't have anything wrong. Like, you know me, I'm not the biggest multiplayer gamer. I prefer, a lot of single player driven self exploration games.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't have anything against online multiplayer. I don't have anything against battle royales. I play Fortnite in my spare time. Like, I just have a problem with the frickin' predatory nature that the gaming industry has become with stuff like live service and gotcha games.
Oh, 100%. Like I
I'm
agree.
sick and
So,
tired of it.
and that's the thing is like what
And
like what do we do though? That's the thing is like we're in the we don't have control in this. But
no.
because of other people like us who are tired of this predatory tactic of, hey, if you want to play Fortnite, you got to pay $20 for the battle pass. Oh, you want to get these
Mhm,
skins? Now you got to pay another $25 to get the whole collection. And it's just like next week we'll have another collection and then a month from now we'll have another battle pass and it's like money just being sunk into it. You can't take a
mhm.
step back from it.
Yeah.
But that's why we're seeing indie studios. We're seeing third party companies and indie developers and just random people sitting in their bedrooms making games for themselves. That's why we're seeing them do so well. I mean,
Mhm.
it's because we're not the only ones that are tired of it. It's just, when are we going to hit that wall?
Yeah.
So it's just frustrating. Kind of going back to Blue Point again, it sucks because they were a great development studio, and I feel like we lost a great studio because of they were the unfortunate ones that got the axe. And I hope that everyone that worked at Blue Point, I hope you guys are okay. I hope you find something that benefits you a little bit more. And best case scenario, I hope you guys do what Sandfall did. You guys come up with your own studio and you make some incredible games in the future for us.
Yeah. It sucks to see such a great studio get removed
Yep.
from the industry due to nothing but corporate soulless greed.
Yeah. And I mean, they have an opportunity to make some really good stuff still. So hopefully that team
Mhm.
finds something and they can pick up where they left off. And who knows, maybe they'll give us our Bloodborne remake.
Who knows, man? All I can say is I'm scared to see what studio gets closed down next because we got Marathon and Fair Games still coming out. So
Yeah,
two more live service games. So if they fail too miserably, I guess we'll see what happens next. Who else they're going to shut down?
and one of them's Bungie. I mean, Bungie's
Yeah, one of
doing
them is Bungie.
Marathon. That's a huge name in the industry. Like, I mean, obviously Blue Point was a big name too, but we'll see. I don't know. I know it's all doom and gloom right now, guys. Like, it seems like it, but it's not. It's just we're frustrated. Like, I've been saying this for months. I know I've told you for the longest time. I'm really frustrated where the industry is. I've been doing this my entire life. Like, video games have
Yeah.
been such a huge part of my life, and now I'm really getting frustrated with how things are turning out.
Yep. Me too.
So, lastly, this was revealed. What was this? 2 days ago.
Yeah, I believe so.
So yeah, on Friday they announced that 38 years after 38 years, Phil Spencer, CEO of Xbox, is retiring. And I can't say I'm terribly surprised by that. Like, in all fairness, he's been doing this for a very long time. All things must come to an end. I'm not
Yep.
surprised about that. It sucks to see him go, though. Like, Phil Spencer seems like a great guy. We've talked about it numerous times about it'd be super cool just to sit down, get a beer with the guy, and just talk to him.
Hmm.
Like, Phil, I know you got a lot more free time opening up, so that offer still stands. We'd love to sit down with you. So, anyway.
Let me buy you a beer, Phil.
But the crazy thing is the shakeup behind him stepping down. And I don't know about you. I just got some kind of red flags going off in that. So there's a lot of questions I have.
Oh, me too.
But again, Phil Spencer stepped down, is retiring after 38 years with the company. Again, I'm not surprised. But if you've watched a Xbox Developer Direct or any of like the State of Play, or not State of Play, the Summer Game Fest events, Sarah Bond was always shoulder to shoulder with Phil Spencer. It didn't matter what
Mhm.
event or, conference or whatever, they were always side by side. And I like Sarah a lot. She seems very nice. She's very business focused. And again, I feel like she was one that had intentions on making Xbox go the right direction. Now, before we dig into this, we don't agree. And I can only speak on my behalf. I guess I shouldn't say we. I'm not 100% sold on what Phil Spencer's done over the past 38 years. He's made some
Me neither.
questionable decisions that I'm not a big fan of. I don't care for the this is the Xbox movement where everything's an Xbox. I don't care for the 100% backing of Game Pass. I prefer owning physical games. I do think multi-platform gaming is a good thing. Instead of putting Halo on just Xbox, it is neat to see it going to other platforms. Same with Gears of War. I don't think we're losing anything there. I think that benefits those studios more. But uh I don't think everything he's done is perfect, but I will stand on my soapbox saying I think the industry is significantly better because of things that Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond have done for the industry.
Mhm.
Um that being said, Sarah Bond is also leaving Microsoft. She resigned immediately after Spencer announced his retirement.
Mhm.
Is that not a red flag? Is that not because I if I was betting, I would have immediately assumed, "Oh, she'll take his spot." She knows the business, she knows the industry, she knows everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that, man?
For one, and from the moment I saw this article, whenever it first went live, I don't think Phil Spencer and well, Sarah Bond maybe, but I don't think Phil Spencer stepped down voluntarily.
No, that was something else I was gonna dig into, but I agree, but I mean, again, this is all speculation. I don't know, but everything
Yeah,
about
it's
this
just
just
hearsay.
seems something seems weird with this whole situation. So
Yep. Yeah, and so it's a shame. I'm like you. I don't agree with everything Phil Spencer did, but it's like you and I were saying before we started recording, Phil Spencer was a gamer first,
mhm.
and he was for the consumer. He was for getting people together and, reaching that broad audience of bringing gamers together. That's, part of the reason that Halo and Gears of War went multi-platform and everything, which I have a pretty hot take on that we'll get into later. Um, whenever we go into our final segment, I will touch back on that.
Okay.
But um, it's a shame. I liked Phil Spencer, I really did, and to see somebody with such a big impact and with somebody who had a heart for the consumer to no longer be in a position of power, is it's a little scary. And now we have, the his replacement, which her name is
Asha Sharma.
Asha Sharma. Yeah. So, and I actually have an article here from Pure Xbox in an interview she gave and everything, and where she's talking about going forward. Because if you're not familiar with Asha Sharma, she was the head of Microsoft's AI division. Now she's the head of Xbox Studios. Um, and I don't like that. You and I already talked about
Yep.
that. I don't like how the person who was the head of the AI division of a company is now the head of the gaming division of a company. Does not sit well with me. But
Agreed.
she did make a statement here, and I'm looking right at it. I'll read it off to you. She says AI has been a part of gaming and will continue to be. And I mean, honestly, let's be honest. AI has always been a part of gaming whenever it comes to developing games and everything, but not in the sense of what AI is in gaming now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but anyway, she goes on to say that these games will be great stories that are created by humans. And let me skip ahead here a little bit because then it's a bunch of other stuff. Okay, so as monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not chase short term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Games are and always will be art crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided by us. The next 25 years belong to the teams who dare to build something surprising, something no one else is willing to try, and have the patience to see it through. And on the outside looking in, that sounds great, but I can't. And maybe it's just me being pessimistic and me being, like, oh, AI bad in my head and everything like that. I don't know. But that just feels like a PR stunt to me.
So
You
here's
know
here
what I'm saying?
I get it, but here's my thing. Like I have to play devil's advocate here for a little bit.
Yep.
Cause if you really like think about this, Asha just took over a role of someone who is very dearly beloved in the industry.
Hmm.
She has huge shoes to fill.
Yep.
So I know, like, if that were me, I would be feeling the pressure. I would
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're going to be scrutinizing everything about her. They're looking at her work history. They're looking at everything she's done. Like she's got big shoes to feel and to big shoes to fill, and I'm sure she's feeling the pressure when it comes to this. Now, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. I don't instantly want to just be like Xbox is all doom and gloom now. Like I want to give her a fair shot.
Mhm.
But I just want to say I don't think Xbox is in a great position for gaming as of right now. They're really doing this kind of universal strategy thing where again, everything's an Xbox. You can play games anywhere. I don't necessarily think that's bad, but I don't think that's good for the Xbox brand.
Yeah.
And I will say, I don't think it's good to purchase like it's I don't want to say that. Like I love my Xbox I'm a big Xbox fan, but it's hard to tell people to go buy a $650 piece of hardware when like I don't feel like Microsoft fully supports it.
Mhm.
Like I feel like they are so focused on everything else instead of their own hardware. How do I tell like my friends, like if you came up to me and was like, "Hey, I want to buy a console. What do you think I should buy?" It's hard for me to tell you, "Hey, go buy an Xbox." Not
Yeah.
because it's a bad piece of hardware, but it's hard to push that sale to be like, "Hey, this is, 150 to $150 more than a PS5 and all the games you can play on Xbox are technically on PlayStation, but you should get an Xbox."
Yeah.
Just because I think
See,
their online service is better. I think Game Pass is a great tool. I think it is a good service, but you're going to pay $360 a year for their best service when Sony's is 180.
yeah.
So, I really want her to focus more on making Xbox the platform to play on.
Well, and it's funny you bring that up. I'm looking at another article that I had pulled up prior to us recording and everything, and this is something that she had stated uh, is one of her goals going forward as CEO of uh, Xbox games. So, and this is her quote. She says, "We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to the developers who build the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players across the world." So, it sounds like she definitely has an idea of putting back into Xbox itself, uh, which is the opposite of what Xbox has been
Yeah.
doing.
No,
So,
their
so
their stance has been very weird over the past I would say like 5 years or so. It seems like they've really got into doubling down on Game Pass, buying studios so they can specifically put them on Game Pass. Now it seems like
yep.
it's more of a universal platform. It's just when the Xbox One came out, like I've told this story before, but I was super like I doubled down on Xbox because of the games they put on there. Was the
Mhm.
Xbox One the best system? No, it was not. But it was the best
Yeah.
system to me because of the games, because of the
Well,
ecosystem. It was because I
and
knew I
that's
was going to enjoy it.
and that's what matters though, because you're the consumer, you know?
100%.
So,
But like I don't feel like we're in that stance anymore. Like I don't if they made Killer Instinct again, it would be universe and it would be on all platforms. And
yeah.
it's like how do I convince myself I'm going to go buy a $650 system when I could play that on this hardware as well.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I
we're we're really jumping ahead to stuff I'm gonna bring up later.
yeah, but
But and
I was gonna jump to that now, honestly, because but like I want to say for Asha, like I'm cautiously optimistic for what she can do. I feel bad for her because she is taking over the role of someone so dearly beloved in this industry. And with
mhm,
him stepping down, obviously people are going to be upset. I don't
yep,
blame her for it. I don't think she's at fault for it. I don't like none of that is on her. I just to the one thing I want to say to her is put Xbox first. Let's
mhm,
get back to our roots. Let's get back to being a gaming console again. Let's get
yep,
out of this service stuff. Like, I think Game Pass is great, but it shouldn't be the forefront of the system. The games should be the forefront. The consumer should be the forefront. Getting back to doing, you know, I say LAN parties because I'm just older, but like, getting to sit down and play a game with your friends, enjoying that universe. Let's get back to what made gaming so good back in the day. Let's get back to those roots.
yep, I agree.
So, unless you got anything else,
Nope, just, thank you for your years of service, Phil Spencer. You're
yeah,
you're you're gonna be missed, I can promise you.
no, 100%. And again, this is one of those things of like, it's just, it sucks to see him go. Like, it
Yeah,
really does. Um, but it's been all doom and gloom. Obviously, like I said, it's been a very frustrating week. It's been a tough week for gamers. It's been a tough week for the consumer of gamers,
Mhm.
consuming of gamers. But let's
Consuming of
consuming
gamers.
consumers and gamers. There we go.
Who's
Uh,
consuming the
uh,
gamers,
well,
Andy?
that's a whole other episode. Um, but let's try and be positive. I hate being negative all the time. I don't want to be negative. Like that's not who I am. I try not to be
Mhm.
anyway. But what can we do to fix this? What if we were let's we're at a round table. You and I are on one side of this table and the other side is Nintendo, Sony and Microsoft. What can we say to these companies to maybe I don't want to say fix the problem, but let's address the issue. What can we do to what can we what positive notes can we give these companies?
You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. First, I'm gonna look Nintendo dead in the eye. I'm gonna be like, listen here, Mr. Nintendo. Just eat the cost. Just do it. All right. You are a billion-dollar company making billions of dollars a year. This year is the 30th anniversary for Pokemon, and we are most likely getting Gen 10 this year.
Oh
You are
god,
going
yeah.
to be swimming in it, okay? Eat it. All right. Stop being a greedy bastard and just eat the cost, okay? And just wait for this bubble to inevitably pop, okay? And that's all I and now Nintendo set aside because we've already, like I said, we did a episode recently all about Nintendo. You should go check it out, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, let me jump
uh
in before we go on to the next one because I want to
okay,
address
okay,
Nintendo as well. And to
okay.
be honest, of the three studio or the three companies, I feel like Nintendo is still the one that's closest to their roots. Like in all fairness,
Agreed.
all I would say to Nintendo, like I understand the cost and all that stuff. If we have to raise the price, that's what we have to do. It sucks. As a consumer, yes, that sucks. But we need to start looking at options to take care of the consumers that can't afford $500-$600 switches.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying let's cut costs. Let's not give them the equivalent of like a Switch 1 and just slap a number 2 on it. Let's do it right. But more
You know that's what
importantly,
they would do though.
that's sadly that's the thing. But
Yeah.
let's get back to the core root of gaming. If we need to, let's start looking at other options in the sense of, I think the Switch 2 is a great system, but let's start putting more to make it worthwhile of a purchase. Obviously, they
Mhm.
just added the Virtual Boy library to Switch 2 online, but we still have thousands upon thousands of NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, 64. Let's make this service worthwhile and then let's start talking about prices cuz right now I can go out and buy a Switch 2 for 500 bucks, but if I were going to purchase it, there is still nothing on this system that makes me want to buy a $500 system. Why would I
Mhm.
want to spend more on it now?
Well, I see what you're saying and everything, but I don't think NSO is the answer because then
No, no,
you're just
no.
asking people to sign up for a a subscription on top of buying a console to have said subscription.
I'm not saying NSO
So,
is the answer.
like,
I'm saying we still haven't seen anything that's a system seller.
no.
Cuz I already know for a fact, like cuz I have seen it firsthand that like if you walk into a GameStop right now and you look at their pre-owned drawer for Switch 2 games, you know what it's full with?
Mario Kart World?
It's all Mario Kart World.
Yeah, how'd I know?
And that again, we just don't have any there's no reason to purchase a Switch 2. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying it's a bad system. I like the system. But what I'm getting at is if you're going to raise the price on it, you need to make it worthwhile to purchase it.
I agree, and that's also what we talked about in our last episode. You should watch this one and then go back and watch that one as well,
So you
so
can listen to us bitch about Nintendo for an hour. But that's what I
Yep,
would say. Nintendo, I think you're on the right path, but you need to reevaluate where we're going forward. If you're
yeah,
going to do this, do it. That's fine. But make it worth our while. Make it worth us purchasing that $500 to $600 system. And I don't want a remake of Animal Crossing or Super Mario Wonder or another Breath of the Wild upgrade or like give me some quality games.
yeah.
So that's what I would say to Nintendo. What do you got for who's your next one on the round table?
So this one's going to be weird because I think PlayStation and Xbox go hand in hand.
Okay.
So the first thing I would do is I would look at Xbox because if Xbox righted their ship, it would force PlayStation to right theirs.
Fair.
So so here's the thing, Xbox. I mean, Phil Spencer, we've already sung your praises and we both think highly of you, regardless of the things that we disagree that you did. But Game Pass needs to die. Not completely, but like it doesn't need to be your sole focus anymore. Game Pass does not need to be your sole focus. Um, Not only that though, Andy talked about, the benefits of having like Halo and Gears of War on PlayStation, everything. And I mean, that's cool because you're bringing them together, but bring back console exclusives. You have to have a reason to buy that console and it just not be a paperweight. Because if you buy an Xbox and then Halo also gets released on PlayStation, cool. Now you have a console that's just sitting there because you don't have an incentive to get a specific console because the specific game you want isn't on said console. It's on everything and anything. So bring back exclusivities. You need to dial it back on Game Pass. That or you just need to drop the cost back down, which we both know you're not going to do. but but that's the point though is they Xbox you need to be a proper competitor to PlayStation because right now PlayStation's over here swinging it around like they're naked in a locker room thinking that they're the biggest guy in there, all right? And the problem is because they're going unchecked because there's nobody to keep them in check. So they're doing all of this little stupid shit that just keeps piling up because they're at the top of the world. They're the number one gaming console right now. They have nothing to compete against them. So Xbox, you need to go back to your roots. You need to give us a reason to have an Xbox again, to play on Xbox again. Stop with this everything is an Xbox shit. Not everything is an Xbox. Make an Xbox. Give us exclusives. Give us a reason to buy it and to buy your software. So that way you are an actual threat to Sony again. So that way PlayStation can gather their shit up and get better at what they're doing instead of just trying to pump out a bunch of shit that nobody wants.
No, I agree. That's the funny thing is, like you said earlier, I said I think it's neat that we're seeing Gears of War and Halo and Forza and all this stuff on PlayStation. I think that's
Mhm.
good for the developers. That's
Yeah.
bringing more business to them, like Playground and all these developers that are actually getting funds for them being multi-platform. I think is great, but that would be my exact same thing to Microsoft
Yeah.
is I would say you need to be Xbox. You
Mhm.
need to, as much as I think it is good for those to be out there for the development teams, you still need to be the reason people buy an Xbox. There needs to be a
Mhm.
reason to come here and play. There needs to be a reason to turn my Xbox on versus my PlayStation. And we don't
Yeah.
have that. And I my thing is kind of like what I said to Nintendo, you got to make it worth to get that system.
Mhm.
The thing is Microsoft has that. If they
Oh,
dropped a
yeah.
new Halo immediately and just put it on Xbox, that's a system seller.
Mhm.
Like for me, if they did a new Forza, that is a system seller. If they did a new Gears of War, if they drop E-Day and put it solely on Xbox, that's a system seller. They
Yep.
have those licenses and games to make Xbox great and just keep it being a top contender in being a gaming and being a top contender in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
But they're
And
not focused on that. They're focused on you can play Xbox anywhere. You can play this on
mhm.
your refrigerator. You could play it on your cell phone. You could play it on your toaster. That's the thing is I don't want to play those on my phone or my toaster or whatever. I want to sit on my couch and play on my Xbox.
Mhm.
And that's what they need to do. Let's make Xbox the place to play again. And I think we've
Mhm.
lost the direction of that. So,
See, and yeah, I agree with you. But and another thing though that's weird too. I mean, some people may find it weird, but I don't think that every IP that Xbox owns should be exclusive to an Xbox though. So, for example, if they also have Bethesda and they also have Activision.
Mhm.
I think that everything that falls under those umbrellas should be multi-platform
Yeah.
because those games have always been multi-platform. You've always had the luxury of choosing it whatever console you wanna play on, so I think it should stay that way. But everything underneath the Xbox Game Studios umbrella needs to be a console exclusive.
Or, I mean, I'll even give it this, like, I don't even think a timed exclusive is a bad thing.
No,
Like,
I
because I
wouldn't say
mean,
so either.
like, we saw that with, like, Final Fantasy and Death Stranding and stuff like that. Like, timed exclusivity isn't a bad thing either,
Mhm.
but I think we need to
Well,
start as Microsoft, we need to start looking at Xbox first because if Xbox doesn't survive, we're not going to get these games on multi platforms. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
So we need to start looking at Xbox first, then we can consider those other revenues.
Alright, next COD, make it great and make it a timed exclusive for Xbox, so that way they can actually be a threat to PlayStation.
They need to do a whole reworking when it comes to all that stuff. That's a whole
Oh,
other
I know.
episode.
Yeah. Still,
But
man, could you imagine that shakeup though? Like, PlayStation would just be like, "Oh, shit." Like
yeah. Well, I mean, they couldn't do that for a few years anyway.
no, they can't,
Yeah, that
so
was that was part of the agreement. So, but
nor
all
do
right,
I ever think they will, but
no, absolutely not. But what do you have anything left for Sony or?
no, just, Herman Holst, I don't like you. You've gotta be my least favorite CEO right now in the gaming industry. So
Fair enough. For Sony,
and
I would
also
just
that doesn't have a 4 head, he has a 5 head. Anyway, continue.
Jesus Christ. All right. Now you're just getting personal.
Well, he made me upset.
No, I think of the three studios, I do feel like Sony's in the best position. Like you said, they are kind of winning this race.
Mhm.
Um, the problem is I feel like all of these negative things we're seeing with AI and the hardware and all that stuff, the consumers are going to be the ones that are punished for it more than anything.
Yep.
I saw an article. I can't find it, so I don't want to quote it too hard. But like, my thing is if they're not going to raise the price on the PlayStation again, they're going to get their money one way or another. And the thing that scares me is we're going to start seeing price increases on video games. We're going to start seeing more microtransactions in games. We're going to see a
Mhm.
price restructuring on PlayStation Plus and Premium and all that stuff. If we don't see a price increase on systems, it's going to still hit the consumer one way or another. It may not be another $50 on the PlayStation, but it's going to be another $50 on a PlayStation Plus or another $20 or $10 on games and stuff like that, or another price increase on controllers and accessories. The we need to. I'm just afraid we're going to start outpricing the consumer, and it's going to get to a point where we can't afford to do this anymore.
Yeah. That's what I'm afraid of. Like,
So,
it's a thing of, I've been thinking about it is, when the PS6 does inevitably come out because, I've always preferred PlayStation over Xbox.
yeah.
And I mean, honestly, right now there's not a reason to get an Xbox anyway, as we've already said. Uh, I've already been in this boat because I usually tend to get the new console whenever it comes out.
Mhm.
Um, I know you're the same way. But the PS6, when it inevitably comes out, I've actually been asking myself here lately, am I actually going to get it whenever it comes out? Uh, because with the way pricing is going, it doesn't seem like it's going to be affordable in any way, shape, or form. And also, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be consumer friendly in any way, shape, or form. And so it's just one of those things of like, do I really want to buy a PS6 whenever it inevitably hits the shelves?
I'm still there's a lot of things I'm concerned about when it comes to this next generation of hardware just in general. I know
Oh, me
Microsoft
too.
has already talked about new hardware in the works, so but they haven't said
Mhm.
anything on it being delayed or anything like that. Um, I'm still I'm still concerned that the next generation of hardware won't even have disk drives. I think it'll be an
Yep.
afterthought, kind of like how the PS5 Slim is right now.
Mhm.
And I think we're going to start seeing more of that. So that's, I mean, as a someone who's more into physical media, I know that's a thing of the past, but I'm
Mhm.
concerned that it's going to be more of a future for us where everything's digital, and I hate that.
Yeah.
So
And I have those same concerns, and you and I have had those concerns for. the past couple of years now. But
Yep.
I don't know, man. Just I'll say this, because I feel like we're naturally just getting to the conclusion of this episode right now. Yes, everything seems like it's just in a dire position right now. Like, I wouldn't say for the gaming industry, but just basically for the consumers of the game industry. Um, but obviously, we're going to get games that nobody wants, and we're going to get games that everybody wants. Things are going to continue to go on as it already is. And so, the only advice that I can give to consumers is that if a game interests you, even if that game is Concord, okay, go ahead and buy it and play it, okay? If you're interested, buy it and play it because at the end of the day, even though I never had an interest in Concord and the rest of the world didn't either because of its, obvious failure, people still made this game at the end of the day. You
Mm-hmm.
know, people who have families, people who have bills to pay, just like you and I, people who, have just a laundry list of things to do and things to take care of, and they need to make a living, okay? If you are interested in a game, even if the rest of the world tells you, hey, this game looks awful, it's your own personal opinion.
Yep.
You shouldn't let other people sway your opinion. If
100%.
you're interested in the game, buy it because you're not buying it and giving your money to PlayStation. You are buying it and you or Xbox, Nintendo, whoever. You're buying it and you're giving it to the people who made the game you're interested in. So this whole episode isn't a call of arms to just start boycotting everything made by a AAA developer or from one of the big three studios. Like I said, just if you're interested in it, put your money where your mouth is and show your support, and
And
everything will work itself out naturally.
what I'll say is it kind of seems corny in a sense, but it's always darkest before dawn. Like
Mhm.
it's it's a rough time right now, but it'll get better.
Yeah,
It'll have to. Like, is it gonna be the solution that we want? Probably not.
yeah, because
But
that's the thing.
it will get better. Like
Yeah,
it's an ups and it's a roller coaster. There's always ups and downs. We're on the downtrend now. It will get better. Things will be okay. It's not the end of the
yeah,
world. We'll figure something out. But like you said, you are allowed to support your own, fandoms, your studios, whatever.
mhm.
Don't let studios like IGN or I say
Oh,
studios like companies like IGN or whoever, sway your opinion. I'm not calling out IGN specific. I'm just saying like for example,
not
but
call them
use
out.
your own opinion. You are allowed
Yes,
to have your own opinion. If someone else doesn't like it, that's fine. If
yeah.
you like it, that's all that matters. So,
Do the opposite of what everybody else online does, have your own opinion, don't be a sheeple, alright? Think
there
for
you go.
yourself.
There you
Just
go.
because somebody just because, Crudlicker69 on Reddit is like, "I think this game is ass," doesn't mean you have to think it's ass, okay? It could be a good game. Maybe they're just a ornery old bastard who doesn't know what a good game is.
I really hope there's somebody with that handle on Reddit. I really
So,
hope.
point being, like I said, if you're interested in something, just put your money where your mouth is and put the support where it needs to go, okay? That's all I'm trying to get at, so
But we are going to end this episode on a positive note, guys. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of good things happening, and hopefully, we'll see a lot of good stuff coming soon. We got Resident Evil Requiem coming up in less than a week. I am
well,
so
by the
excited.
day the
Oh, I
day
guess
this
that's
episode
true.
goes up. Yeah,
For
yeah, yeah.
us, it's
So,
less than a week. By the time this goes up, it'll be out.
yep.
So I will be playing it. I know I'm going to be putting it on my channel. So
You're already saying that. So,
that's
I think personally too, because it's obviously going to be one I sit down and play immediately. We haven't done a joint review since South of
yeah,
Midnight, which is also our only joint review. So, I think we should have a full blown Requiem review
I'm
together.
good. I'm good with that.
So, yeah.
But yeah, we got Resident Evil Requiem coming up. We just had an incredible state of play, which we did an
Oh
episode
my
on, but
gosh.
that didn't work out too well. So that's not gonna
Yeah.
get that we're not gonna see the light of day there. But we had some incredible announcements on the state of play.
Hmm.
Um, so we got a lot of good stuff in the works. So
Hmm. Yeah.
even though
So,
it's been a rough week, there's still a great light at the end of the tunnel. And yeah, let's just hope to an awesome 2026 and just try and stay as positive as we can.
Yep. So,
Cool. Do you have
well,
anything else you want to cover real quick?
yeah, all I was going to say is stay tuned, guys. We got a lot on the way. Obviously, we just plan to do a joint review of Resident Evil Requiem
Yep.
whenever we both finish that, which I'm pretty sure will be as quick as possible. Uh, Not only that, though, I did some Let's Plays over this past weekend. So you after today, the day you're watching this episode, the following day at noon, Saturday, a new Let's Play is going to be up of a game that I haven't played yet. So go watch
Oh,
that. And then the Saturday after that, there should be another Let's Play where I'm finishing up Creature Kitchen. And the Saturday after that, there should be another Let's Play that I did. And on top of that, I'm currently working on a review for Reanimal. So
you may put the Creature Kitchen one up first because I know somebody who's never going to let me hear the end of it if you don't. So
I did that on purpose.
I figured I'll have to let her know. So, but
So
just to wrap it up, guys, we got a lot of stuff in the works. It's been a crazy year for us. This has not been planned in any way, shape, or form. We've been really just trying to get our feet under us when it comes to a lot of different things this year, and just sitting down and doing just podcast episodes has been, I hate to say a challenge, but we're hoping to start kind of getting back to the norm when it comes to this. We've talked about doing more let's plays. We've talked about trying to get back to the routine of doing episodes. So we want to get back into the swing of things. We want to help, have a lot more for you guys, and we want to keep continuing 2026 kind of seeing some growth for us. We're still trying to hit that 100 subscriber mark. So,
yep. So and then, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. Oh, yeah. And if you like this episode or you like the previous podcast episode we did where we covered Nintendo and everything, and you just like these gaming news roundups, I guess you could say, let us know. I really enjoy doing these ones. So, and it seems like there's always a new bit of information when it comes to the gaming
oh yeah,
industry.
there's
So
always
I'm
something
sure we
going.
could find something to talk about. So if you enjoy these, definitely let us know down below. Also, let us know your opinion currently on the gaming industry. But just to keep things different, though, if you're going to be negative, you got to end with a positive in your comment, okay? All
I like
right.
that. I like that. But as always, guys, we appreciate your time. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to share us. Let other people know that you're listening to us. Or if you don't like that person and you want to annoy them, let them know you're listening to us too. We don't care
Yeah.
either way. But as always, guys, we appreciate your time. We'll see you guys next week. And as always, don't forget to keep it uncultured.